What's up, everyone? This is Alex with the Duran, and we're following up on a video that we did yesterday with Alexander Mercouris, and this is just an incredible, incredible development. So the other day we did a video on the fake murder of Arkady Babachenko, the Ukrainian journalist who staged, along with the Ukrainian security services, who staged his own death in order to weed out the Putin hired assassins. And the story is pretty ridiculous and received, surprisingly enough, received worldwide condemnation, even from the Russia-hating mainstream media and liberal press, even The Guardian. A lot of newspapers were pretty outraged that the Ukraine security services would stoop so low in a ruse that was, reminiscent of some screwed up Pink Panther kind of scenario, or maybe something like along the lines of The Naked Gun, just real slapstick kind of comedy stuff. But aside from mocking what the Ukrainian security services did by staging this murder and then trying to use the blame Russia moniker in order to gain international attention, I guess they did it for because they were probably feeling a little bit ignored on the world stage, given now that their country is pretty much in limbo, neither wanted by the European Union nor loved by the United States now that Trump is in office and not Hillary Clinton. Don't forget that Ukraine was a single highest donor, the country that donated the most money to the Clinton Foundation. So, I mean, they got stung badly when Trump crushed Hillary. And so, I guess they're just kind of looking to jump on the Russia did it bandwagon, the hate Russia bandwagon by staging this ridiculous, fake murder. Anyway, so yesterday I jumped on to Zero Hedge, and we're on Zero Hedge right now, and here we go. I see real assassin arrested in staged Kiev, hit linked to Ukrainian intelligence as official story unravels. I mean, this is just, you can't make this up. So let's start from the beginning. The Ukrainian government staged assassination of anti-Putin journalist Arkady Babachenko has taken an even stranger turn, as evidence has emerged that his would-be Russia-ordered assassin and the man who supposedly hired him both say they worked for Ukrainian counterintelligence, casting serious doubts on the official story. Casting serious doubts on the official story. Yeah, I would say so. Here you have the guys that were caught in this, weeded out in this fake murder ruse by the Ukraine security services. They happen to work for the Ukrainian counterintelligence. Here it is. Both say they worked for Ukrainian counterintelligence. Where is Zero Hedge getting this from? Well, none other than Russia-hating, Hillary-loving New York Times. So even the New York Times runs with this title: after the faked journalist killing in Ukraine, the murk deepens. And this is just incredible. I'll put a link to both these articles, both from Zero Hedge and the New York Times. But the New York Times is also, much to chagrin, probably, breaking the story that the guys at the Ukrainian Secret Service caught trying to assassinate Babachenko worked for the Ukraine Secret Services. There you have it. It's unbelievable. It's almost too silly, too ridiculous, too stupid to be true. But I guess in the age of Trump that we live in the age of identity politics that we live in this crazy, messed up world that's insane with hatred to Trump, to the right, to Vladimir Putin, to Russia, and all this hatred, all this animosity, all this nuttiness, a story like this can be true. I'm back on Zero Hedge. Let's see what Zero Hedge says going down a little further. Only now we find that the hitman, Oleksii Tsimbalyuk, is an outspoken critic of Russia who says he worked for Ukrainian counterintelligence, a claim Ukraine initially denied but later admitted to be true. This is the second paragraph down. It's bold on Zero Hedge. A claim Ukraine initially denied but later admitted to be true. Meanwhile, the guy who supposedly hired Tsimbalyuk, Boris L. German, 50 years old, also says he worked for Ukrainian counterintelligence. So the guy that hired this guy to fake assassinate Babchenko also says he worked for Ukraine counterintelligence, a claim Ukraine denies as it immediately destroys the carefully scripted little typo on zero hedge, immediately destroys the carefully scripted, if rapidly imploding, Ukrainian narrative. Sorry about that. A claim Ukraine denies as it immediately destroys a carefully scripted, if rapidly imploding, Ukrainian narrative, meant to scapegoat Russia for what has been a fake news story of epic proportions, emerging from the one nation that only was the biggest foreign donor to the Clinton Foundation, but has made few news propaganda into an art form. Fake news propaganda into an art form. Here's the Tsimbaluk guy, Oleksky. He's the supposed hitman. Here we have Boris German, suspected of organizing the attempt on the anti-Putin Russian journalist Babchenko. The New York Times reported that Tsimbaluk, a former Russia-hating priest, was featured in a 10-minute documentary in January 2017 in which he called killing members of the Russian-backed militias in eastern Ukraine an act of mercy, further calling into question why Russia would hire him for a supposed assassination in the first place. Facebook pictures also reveal Tsimbaluk wearing a Ukrainian ultra-nationalist uniform from Right Sector, a group deemed to be neo-Nazis. It gets even better. So not only did the guy that Ukraine catch for this fake murder attempt, murder assassination on Babchenko in order to pin the blame on Putin and Russia, but it turns out this guy was not only working for the Ukraine counterintelligence, but he was also a member of Right Sector, a neo-Nazi group. You can't make this up. This is unbelievable. Here he is with his ultra-nationalist gear. Why did the Ukrainian Secret Service, security services, not bother to, as they were putting this ruse together, not bother to go to Facebook to search social media so they could, kind of see the background of these cast of characters that they would throw under the bus? I mean, did they not see what was happening? As even the Russophobic New York Times puts it, given such strong and publicly avowed enmity towards Russia, it is odd to say the least that Mr. Tsimbaluk would be selected to carry out the contract killing of a prominent Kremlin critic. There you have it. Even the New York Times has to begrudgingly admit, much to its chagrin, much to its hate for Putin that it does have, that even this story is too far-fetched to believe. But it is true. Ukraine hired its own people to fake assassinate Babchenko, and then finds out that their own people are also linked not only to Ukraine, but they're linked to Private Sector, which is a neo-Nazi group. The New York Times pretty much comes clean about it. They're disavowing, I imagine they're disavowing any connection they have now to the circus that is the Ukraine Security Services. I doubt they'll be believing much of anything that they have to put out going forward. We already know that a lot of the alternative mainstream media doesn't buy any of the garbage, the fake news garbage that the security services puts out. But this was just talk about a ridiculous idea going way, way wrong. Anyway, guys, that's the follow-up to a video that we did on the Babchenko fake news, fake murder news. Zero Hedge broke the story from the New York Times, which ran with the story as well. I'll put the links down below. Remember to subscribe, clicking that red subscribe button. Also click that notifications bell to get notifications. Go to DRN Shop, pick yourself up a shirt, pick yourself up a poster, pick yourself up something. Whatever you buy helps support the Duran. Let me know if you like this type of video where we're just kind of breaking news as it comes out and narrating what's happening in the news and in other alternative media sites and even the mainstream media, that even for all their fake news and all their lies like the New York Times, sometimes if a story is so ridiculous and so dumb and boomerangs so fast, even the New York Times has to admit what's going on. That's it for now, guys. Take care.